Hi, okay, so what I'm going to talk about, the topic that I find interesting is that about my relationship around the word male, about that creature, not specifically me and certain person, no, just basically like men in general. So when I was younger, I think I really have a healthy relationship with that word because like compared to my junior and senior high school, it become weird because I think I always mention about my junior and senior high school because that place is insane. We kind of separated from the boys, so we're not allowed to meet any of the boys, and even at the holidays, we're not allowed to meet them. So basically, I do not know how to access them. So basically, I don't have a friends. I probably did, but it's still stuck in my elementary school. It wasn't really like junior and senior high school friends, but it was always elementary because I don't know how to get to the access where I can be friends with the boys on my school. You know what I mean? So junior high school, I mean I would have crushes, mostly celebrity crush, and yeah, how do I like someone if I never met them? I mean, yeah, okay, it's through social media, but then the one that I'm stalking, it's junior high school, right? They cannot capture a good picture when we were, I don't know, like 13 years old or something like that. So I don't really have a crush in my junior high school friends. But then when it comes to like senior year, I think I let go all of the rule that has tied me up for years, and but few of my friends already have an access to those boys. Like they friend with a lot of boys in that building. But I didn't because I don't know how. I really don't know what to talk about. I really don't. I feel like we're just irrelevant and we have a different world and just weird. So whatever. And then when I was in senior high school, when I'm like senior, not junior anymore in high school, because I'm the oldest, I don't scared. I'm not scared anymore about the rules. And I every time my friends gonna talk about this boys thing, I would be the one like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I don't know these people, and it's weird. And I remember the first time I saw them in real life, it was in the school kitchen. We are by coincidence met, bumped to each other and everything, and I was like. I remember it felt like I saw a celebrity. I'm not even exaggerating. I know that kind of like what the fuck. But anyways, that's how it feels. Like I feel like I met celebrity because like all of these people that I met, I already seen it and Instagram. People talk about them, but I never met them in person. So when I met them in person, I was like, oh my god, they look exactly the same like they did in Instagram. Oh my god, I saw this person. Do you know that? I'm very excited about that. I told everybody about that, that we're kind of like accidentally bumping each other. But then it become an addiction, like, and I could understand. I probably can say, and I can admit it myself, that I kind of male standard at the moment and kind of like, I don't know, attention seeking male fucking validation type of girls, and that is not come from judgment. It comes from understanding because like almost 6 years I don't have a proper access or connection or communications with any male friends that I have. What I did is just listen to people's story and then see them through social media, and that's gonna be it. And like I really, and when I have access to that now, when I don't care anymore about the rules that the school have, now that become a turning point. I feel like, oh my god, now I know them. I don't feel left out, and I understand people that keep talking about that because it's exciting. It required adrenaline in your body to like actually get to know them, and it's so amazing. I am not gonna lie, that's probably that little girl felt. It is like, oh my god, amazing. I never been feeling like this in years. I don't know since when. So that leads me into something quite new, but like it's character development, so I don't care. But we're focusing on like my relationship around the word male. So at the moment, obviously, I will be, oh my god, male. But then I am very grateful that I have a big ego and I have like a high standards. Like I wouldn't. And there's somebody's that gonna be hit me up, but if I don't like him, then you're out. So I think it's also at the same time very healthy because I still have standards. I wouldn't go with anybody just because I want a boyfriend. No, honestly. So my relationship around that thing, it's still quite healthy. It's really healthy, but not really healthy. Do you know what I mean? I mean, okay, we're talking about not the effect they have in my life. So I'm talking about the relationship. So the relationship around that male word, male in general. So yeah, if we're talking about that, then it's really healthy because like I enjoy talking to them, like not in a relationship way, like in the friendship way. I love them. I really love them. I mean, I'm a woman and then I have so much empathy, and for that, I love my friends. It's a normal thing. And then I eventually got someone to talk to. We have like a talking stage. Then it failed, and then I got my broken heart and everything. That kind of changed a little bit about my relationship with like male word, but not completely yet. I started to see the world around me more clearly, and my relationship around that male word, it's still normal because after that situationship, I think I really want to replace him, but I cannot. I don't know. I cannot imagine myself with anybody yet. And then it's just all super weird, and I just gotta sit with that. And I'm staying single. I don't have my replacement and everything. But then my dad's become unemployed, and then the longer I think about it, oh my god, I kind of hate a man. So the time when I hate man, the time is where I just got my heart broken, and then I learned deep about my father's not being unemployed, and the thing about my mom, it's she's gonna breaking me about that, so it make me hate the whole situation even more, and that's why I'm very interested in feminism, patriarchy topic, like how we talk right now. But I don't think I'm gonna be who I am today without a full knowledge about feminism, patriarchy. It's really changed my eyes completely. So around that time, I was hating a man, but do I still believe that one day I'm gonna find somebody that is not a jerk? Obviously, yeah, 100%. Like I mean, I'm just talking like a man in general. When we're just let anybody slide into our life, it could be dangerous. I think not only for if we allow man, but also with like a random people, right? But I'm really passionate about this topic when it comes to like feminism and everything. Oh my god. I remember I was so obsessed with that and even like took that as my topic in my thesis for my last work in my uni, and yeah, it's a really life changing moment for me, and that's also changed the way I perceive male completely. Like now I understand what happened. Now I understand what at least in their mind, so that I can like a little bit up. Like oh my god, a little bit stomachache, whatever. So with that, basically the relationship around that, but also in a healthy way. I can assure that in a healthy way. But at the moment, I cannot see myself in any relationship. I think it's such a waste of time. I'm still 19 or whatever. If I ever involve myself in another relationship and I got my heart broken again, I think it's just so waste of a time, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I still hate on man, but I still believe there's gonna be someone that actually very kind and all these things. But then in around that time, I don't want to be in a relationship ever. Like, yeah, around that time. So that's kind of the relationship at that moment. And then after that situationship, it took me, now it's 2 years, and I've been never been in a talking stage or in a relationship with a man. Never. Not that because I like girls. No, I always been straight as hell. Oh my god. And to be honest, I'm in the state where I think I'm ready to just get to know them again. Just to find actually that 1% of a man that actually worth every piece of myself. You know what I mean? So I think that I'm in that state right now, which I'm also very grateful. But then I realize all of that relationship that I have with around that, the word man in general, it shaped how I respond to certain people, because I wouldn't just let anybody slide in, because that's so impossible, because I've already done my work, and being with you, it's not literally my priority. Not that I need you, but I want you. So it's always been like that. It's been incredible. So one time, there's this guy approached me. In one day of knowing me, he already called me babe, and I mean, I could be not. I do agree that kind of like exaggerating for me to be like angry, but I remember the first time he sent me that, I was completely shaking. I don't know why, but like my heart beat faster and I'm shaking. But then I not replied directly, and then I just like scroll to TikTok. What do I respond with somebody making whatever? How to deal with this type of man and everything. And then they all somehow told me to like ask him for money, and so I did. And now he mad at me. But here's the thing: when he called me that babe, I don't feel comfortable, and that could be exaggerating if I think about it right now. But that doesn't, like maybe this is like a lesson for me. Okay, when a guy like make you uncomfortable, you need to turn the table by yourself. Okay, you're not gonna wait for somebody to turn that table around, and you don't know anything about that, and you don't care. You can turn your table alone. You know what I mean? So that's what I did by asking him a money. So when he like called me babe, then there's a romantic thing that he tried to approach, right? And then I was like, okay, so in the future, I'm very ambitious and I'm very goals oriented type of woman. Do you eager, or are you willing to support me? And I said, yeah, obviously that easy. All right then, give me an actions, not just word. And he said like how? And I said, show me money. And he is mad as fuck. He said, oh my god, you only want me for money, whatever. And then I blocked him. Now, I not left in that conversation feeling shit anymore. I am not left in that conversation feeling like I powerless because I can't fight. You make me uncomfortable, and that's it. I'm gonna leave you on read and something like that. No, I'm literally gonna confront you. That's so much better. I sort of got like the table turned by me. Now I know. Maybe it could be like a friendly thing, but and then he confirmed that it was like a romantic intention, right? So I'm not wrong, but I am not really comfortable around that thing. So from that experience, I learned that actually that is not really that dramatic. But then I learned from that too. Later on, when somebody's disrespect you, you need to clap back, especially when it comes to man. Like, what the worst could happen? I don't know this man. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. So there's the other day, a man texts me saying that I'm sexy. What the fuck? Now, okay. All right, I'm not trying to be exaggerating like the first one. I was just gonna go with the flow and I said, yeah, I know. Thank you, you are too. That's what I replied to. And he said, like, oh my god, am I sexy too? And I was like, yeah, obviously, but less sexy than I am, obviously. And he said, yeah, you're naughty. And then, can you send me a picture of your body or like physically? That went going too far. You cannot tell me otherwise. That is weird as hell. And how do I respond with that? I respond with, oh my god, it's such a weird thing to ask to a woman. But anyway, I took a few break from that. I would just read and then like, okay, forget about it, scroll my TikTok, and suddenly, ding, oh, I should respond like this. You know what I mean? So then I responded that way. Like, that's such a weird thing to ask to a woman. Have a little manner, a little bit, you know? Like, I don't think I need to explain it how it's so uncomfortable. But anyway, don't ask a woman to whatever. Okay, whatever. We're gonna be moving on. So actually, all of those background story, the thing that I wanna tell you actually, it's the time where I clocked a man. Because I also like a man hatter, but I also find them super hot. Sometimes certain, okay, certain. All right, so I need to know my place where when I'm gonna be like Superman hater, and then when I'm gonna be like a lover girl or something like that. When it comes to true story, you know what to choose. And I have a dream about him last night. Anyway, forget about it. So, okay. So the time where when I clocked a man. So I have this colleague of me back in the day, like I know, like few months ago. I am French literature student, and he is what happened? Whatever. And he was confused because I speak English more than I speak French, and if you know, French is quite harder than English. And he is English literature student. He use English every day, and he compared that to his accent. Like, why can't you speak French? Why can't you speak that instead of English? And I was like, oh, I don't know that what you want me to do. I thought it's okay using English. That's why. I mean, all this thing. And he claimed that I failed on my trying on speaking French. He convinced that I don't even try to even be good at French, which is not valid because I have my own defense. If I have the energy to tell him like, no, oh my god, if you know every time this I don't know, there's an event outside of the city which allow me and got me opportunity for practice my French with native speaker. I would literally go all by myself, 3 hours drive by motorbike. I will go if I need to elevate my skill of French. I could just say that to him, but I didn't because why do I explain that to him? What the fuck is the point? Why are you convinced at the first place that I am not even trying to be good at French? Why do you have that thought? And he kept doing all this shit, and then he said like, "Oh my god, compared to me, I always try whatever, but the one that he learn is fucking English. It's what everybody learn." And I told him like, "Oh my god, I don't need to be in a English literature literature major for me to like speak English fluently." And then he said like, "Yeah, but we also study accents." Bitch, are you dumb? I was like, oh my god. I mean, if you're into pop culture, obviously we talk about accent a lot, right? Obviously, I will know about that. I don't have to go to your stupid university on everything. And he said, okay, so I was just done with it. And then he said, yeah, but at least I'm trying. He said that as if I don't try. And then as if I don't try. And then I lost my mind. I was like, okay, here's the thing. Why would I convince you that I'm trying? Why would I explain to you that I'm trying? Because I know I'm obviously trying. Why would I explain that to you that I'm trying? And he is all of a sudden silence, think about his action, and he suddenly says, yeah, just get a lot of practice, suddenly become fucking kind. Clocked him, whatever. And then, I don't know. So, yeah. Um, so there's the other moment in my life where we talk about the first president of America, and it was George Washington, right? And he said Abraham Lincoln for whatever. I don't know, like probably not true, but I said, oh, he said like this. Who is this in the picture? Oh, we saw like a dollar money or something like that, and there's a Abraham Lincoln in that. And I was like, I think, who is this? It's the first president of America. What? As far as I know, is the first president of America is George Washington, and he doesn't look like that. Why I knew that? Because I think in some point of my life I kind of know, and so what really? I don't. The first president of America, Abraham Lincoln. Does it not George Washington? No, it's Abraham Lincoln, blah, blah, blah. And then I searched it up on Google, who is the first president of America, and it says George Washington. And I was like, look at this. Look at this. Now you guys say sorry to me, kiss my face. And he said, no, no, but Abraham Lincoln is the first president for da da da. Yeah, I I clocked him. Whatever. And then, oh my god, I didn't even tell you about my dad. My dad, it's I don't know, in I don't know. So, around our relative, he will try to be a dominant. I don't know why. And one time, and I think he know that I would never listen to him if it doesn't fucking make sense. And I'm very much a thought daughter. I think. Okay, so there are a family gathering, like a big family gathering in my house, and then I need to deliver some food to my neighbor, and then everybody's watching me, right, walking to the neighborhood because there's this, yeah, whatever. And then my father told me to like, yo, you need to go faster, you need to walk faster before this neighbor come into the house. And I was like, why would I scared to do, like, I mean, why do I need to go faster before she needs to get to the house when I can knock the door? Make it fucking make sense. And he yelled at me like crazy, and a lot of my relative watching, and and then he said like, faster, faster, walk faster. And I was like, da, 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 da. I go even slower. I go even slower. I don't care what he said, and just deliver my food, and the neighbor still gonna open the door and just take it from me. I feel like that's clocking woman. I don't know, like, because the thing about me is that I never listen to anybody but myself. Whatever. And then there's the moment where I think, okay, so why is this a very big thing for me? Back in the day when I was still male centered, a man would tell me that I'm stupid. A man will tell me that I not religious enough. When actually they also do exactly the same as I did. But I never judged them, but they judged me like badly. But I never had the nerve to confront when I was male centered and not hating men. But now I know that this is all propaganda. That's kind of why I need to fucking shut them down. And then, I forgot. Oh yeah, so I am gonna be going to overseas for the first time ever all by myself, and I need to go to the airport. And the home and my airport, it's gonna be taking me 3 hours by motorbike all by myself. I got my luggage and everything, so I asked my dad to like, hey, can you drive me there? And he said no, he doesn't want me. He doesn't want to drive me there, and it's insane because like he's unemployed. And like, what do you want me to do with it? Like, he want me to go there by this public transport, which is quite expensive. And I told him like, oh my god, I don't have the money anymore, you know. And then he said like, and then whatever. I just met and I just come to my room and looking for this public transport that he's talking about, which that is very expensive. Like it's just very expensive and it's just not convenient at all. And he said like, yeah, can you look for the public transportation like right now? And like that's exactly what I did. Exactly what I did. And he still tell me that, and it's just, and I'm mad at him. So that's why I didn't answer him. And he start to yell and like, "Hey, are you even listening? Look for the transportation right now. Look for it, or whatever, this kind of thing." And I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck do you think I'm doing right now if I'm not doing that?" And I yelled back. And my mom obviously terrified of that. Just like, "Oh my god, look at the daughter you made." This is exactly the copy of your bullshit. That's even like one of the story. Oh my god, like that's just one true story. Probably there's a tons of it, and I'm just so proud because like I knew this is just a propaganda. If we're let him doing this to me, where he actually the one that's very annoying, don't want to help. Well, I can understand if you have something to do or whatever, but instead you being a fucking bitch. So like, kind of why? And afterward, he kind of like want to help. Like, here's the thing. Here's the number of public transport. Well, if you have brain, I can just go there by my motorbike and like live in a hotel much more cheaper than I have to be in a public transport because that's so expensive. Whatever, if you understand what I'm talking about. But that's like pretty much everything, and I'm yeah. And the one thing that I also proud of myself is that so there's a wedding of my family, right? So we ride a car together as a whole family to go there, but I told my mom before, like, because I mean, I need such a long time to get ready. I told her to like, hey, just let me with a motorcycle. I don't need to be in a car with you guys. And my mom insists she want us whole family to get there by a car together. And I was like, all right, whatever. So we get there by a car, and at the end of the event, my relative needed to ride back home with that car as soon as possible because she got something to do. But my father, refused to drive us home in that time. My mom told him to to like, hey, let's go back to our house because she needs to go. And then these motherfuckers instead kind of like I don't know, showing his dominance around this family gathering or anything. He said like, if you want to go with me, we're gonna go later. But if you don't want to go with me, just go home right now. He's not talking to me. That's why. If not, I'm already clocked him to death. I swear to God. But whatever. I know that gonna happen, and my intuition is right. I should have brought a motorcycle so this relative of mine can go home as soon as possible. But you know, whatever. So and then we have a ride back home with one of our family's relative and everything, and we go home. And oh yeah, and then my brother still left in that event because the car does not fit. And my father said like, oh yeah, you just go along with her. y- uh I mean, my brother can stay here, right? And then he asked my brother to like stay here, and I knew my brother so much. He's like a version of me in a different font. And obviously, I know that he wanted to leave because I also wanted to leave as soon as possible. And then he just stayed there, and I was thought like, oh my god, that's so weird. That doesn't sound like you, but I don't care. I need to leave right now. And then by the time I got home, I was thinking about my brother. Oh my god, he must be stuck there. He wanted to go home. And then I texted him, do you want me to pick you up? And then he said, yeah. And then I pick him up, pick his up. What the fuck? And then I pick him up, be a man that my father's. supposed to be, and pick him up and just buy him some a little coffee to brighten his day. Am I not man enough? You know what I mean? You can't do this, not. Oh my god. Oh my god, damn. And then by the time we get back home, my dad's car arrived. I think you feel bad enough about yourself. So that's, but also I have a really, really healthy perspective around this man in general. You don't have to worry because I believe somewhere in the world it's gonna be men that actually have a fucking brain and be a man and want me and love ya.